So I have quite a lot of questions.
Okay.
First is, what's the purpose of no longer music?
Purpose of no longer music. I think for us, it's really important to be creative and to have high quality art and this, but we need more than this. Like if it's just entertainment, there's plenty of this. You can turn on the TV, you can go on YouTube. For us, it really is important that there's a purpose and a message, like in a strong message. I think good art has a strong message, and so in a similar way, we have a really strong, clear message about Jesus, and we want to tell us the true story of Jesus, because we find that a lot of times people have a very religious and very rules-based idea about God and about Jesus. And when we read the Bible, we see a God who loves us where we're at, and He wants to change us through His personal relationship with us. And so this is where I guess for us the clear purpose is more than just the entertainment, but also the message.
From that, what I've seen, you have a specially built show.
Yeah.
For it, is it always the same, or you change it?
Yeah. About 80 to 90% of the music and choreography changes and costumes and everything from year to year, but the sort of the structure is pretty similar. We use the stage way to kind of tell this story about this girl who's been abused, and the forgiveness and the redemption that Jesus came and gave us, both for the guy being the abuser and the girl being the one who was abused. And we find that really relates really well with people.
What's your image of Jesus? Who is He?
It's a big question, obviously. I think he's a redeemer. So like he takes something that's broken, something that's useless or something that's dirty, and he purifies it. He makes it clean. He makes it useful, and he doesn't do this from a position of like, in order for me to love you, I need to make you this way. But I love you so much that I'm not going to leave you dirty. I'm not going to leave you in the mud, but I want to clean you. And so I think that's one of the clear things about Jesus for me.
Okay. Tell me about Steiger. What is that exactly, and how you created it?
So Steiger is a global missions organization. We have bases in Australia, New Zealand, Beirut, Lebanon, Brazil, Chile, the United States, Poland, Ukraine, Germany, and do a lot of work, especially in Europe, but the Middle East and these other places as well. It's our simple mission statement is we're called to reach and disciple the global youth culture for Jesus. So this global youth culture is like every major city in the world. Young people are so connected, watching the same movies, listening to the same music, sharing the same Facebook posts. And there's this global ideology and perspective that's being formed. And even though people come from different backgrounds, so in Poland maybe it's a very strong Catholic background, in the Middle East it's a very strong Muslim background, or atheistic or Orthodox or Lutheran or whatever. On the front end, they're being influenced by the same ideas from sort of this Western media machine. And so our heart is to communicate the truth of Jesus and in a way they understand. And so they're already connected through music and art and creativity. And so that's our tool to communicate who God really is and the way He cares about them. So that's kind of the general thing for Steiger.
Okay. I was wondering, do you have like any work besides playing on the concerts? And how you earn for the concerts? Because it's the whole tour, so you have to get from city to city, from place to place with the whole stage and the truck.
At every concert, we take tubes and we put them in cars, and then we suck out the gas from every concert, so we don't have to pay for gas.
Oh, that's so great!
So I'm sorry if you can't drive home tonight. Maybe it's because of this.
Okay, I see. You have to figure it out.
No, so the first part of your question is what other things is Steiger involved in? We have one of the main things is we have a mission school that's near Dresden in Germany, and what we see is that there's many young people, like literally millions, that don't know the truth about Jesus and have this really twisted sort of religious, rules-based idea about him. And so we want to have more people that are going out and sharing in a clear, creative way. And No Longer Music is just one example of that. There's a lot of other either bands or art exhibitions or cafe spaces, just different cultural, creative ways to communicate who Jesus is in a relevant way. And so we have a mission school is a really big part of that in Germany, so that runs over the summer. Even a really cool way to get involved is the very first week of the school. It's called Revolutionary Week. This year it's June 13th to the 18th, and that one's open to everybody. Like the school, you have to apply and you have to go through these things, this process. But the Revolutionary Week is just totally open. So that's a really cool way for people to get interested initially. Answer the second part of your question, the fundraising aspect. People really believe in. There's a lot of Christians around the world that want people to hear the truth about Jesus, and it's not always possible for them to go, but it is possible for them to send. And so it's like God calls us to go, and many other people as well, and they send us by supporting us financially, supporting us in prayer, and each one of us as a member of the No Longer Music team, also we raise our own personal support in order to do this as well.
Okay, a Christian ghetto. What can it be?
A Christian ghetto. I'm sure that could mean a lot of things. I guess maybe what would pop into my head first, it would be more like a Christian bubble, where you go to a place and all of the Christians know each other, but they don't know anyone else outside of this. Is this kind of what the idea that you mean, or is it something different?
Yeah, a bit. Let's say. I'm satisfied with your answer. How should the effective evangelization look like? Do you have any key for it?
Yeah, for sure. Prayer is the first thing. Like, it's not some cool strategy. It's not some like magic trick. It's asking God for His heart for people, so that you can actually see them the way He sees them. And people are very good at putting on masks and feeling like, yeah, I'm okay, and showing this on the outside. But God knows what's happening on the inside. And so when we ask Him for His heart, for His eyes for this, He can show us the pain and the turmoil and the brokenness that we have without God. And so I think that's a huge key, is just asking God for His heart, and that's the first thing.
What's the best way of preaching the gospel in Poland?
I think creatively is a really good way, using different creative means. But honestly, I also just think directly, like straightly. Not in like a condemning way, but in a loving, clear way. I think people in Poland know a lot of the story about God and about Jesus and some of this Bible stories, but they don't know that it's real. And I think they need someone to oftentimes just give them like a really direct answer, like, man, this is not a story. It's what happened, and it's what God did for you. And I think that's something that's really valuable in Poland.
Evangelical artist, what should he or she be like?
I would go back to the prayer thing. Like, that's where it starts. If you're going to use your art evangelistically, which I would really encourage, because I think it's such a powerful tool. It's such an amazing way to use the creative gifts God's given you for this. Then I think you just got to start with prayer and asking, okay, God, take my art, take my creativity, and do something powerful with it. And it's really important that we give God our best in this also. Like, I think sometimes there can be a mistake that, we can just kind of do something and not really put much effort into it, not really work hard on it, and we can give that to God. But I see in the Bible that God always wants our best. He always wants the first fruits and the best lamb, and I think when we give Him the best, He like takes it from what can maybe say 5 to 10, and then He makes it just like unbelievably fruitful.
When does the evangelization comes to the right effects?
I think you don't always see all the fruit of sharing the gospel. So I think it comes to the right effect when you do what you're called to do. So if God asks you to share in this way, maybe you're just planting the first seed and you don't see anything happen. Maybe you see people give their lives to Jesus right away. But I think it's a matter of, again, this prayer and hearing from God, okay, this is what you want me to do, and then you trust Him with the results. And then if you don't see the results you want, I think even still you pray more and you ask for something deeper. But it's not something that you can purely measure, I think. At least not in like a short glimpse. You have to look at the little bit longer perspective. But it's just a matter of me if God's called me to do this, then I can do it with my best and not just kind of, okay, well I kind of did my job, but really give my best in it and then trust Him with the results.
How can you summarize the mission of the gospel which we preach to the people?
I mean, the gospel means good news, and I think one thing that I often need to remind myself is that I have this good news to give people, and that it's not just something that they should do or that would be helpful for them, but that it's good news, that it's exciting, that it's joyful, that it's life-giving. I think that's sort of to get back to the key and even just the meaning of the word, to like kind of meditate and think about this, and then let that like stir you up, and then you can speak it out.